Welcome everybody. My name is Shawn Welch and I'm here with Craig and we are going to discuss his experience with Lonet.Academy. So Craig, welcome.
Well, thank you. Nice to meet you. Hi, Shawn.
Now, Craig, as we get started, let's begin with you just sharing a little bit more about yourself.
Sure. My name is Craig. I live in Scotland in the UK. I work in the finance industry. And I'm now learning Latvian.
Oh,
I wasn't before.
Okay, so Craig, then tell me kind of as we just dive right in, why did you want to learn this new language?
I've always wanted to learn a second language. I always think British people are well known for only having one language, and it's something that we need to build on. So I met my girlfriend in January last year, and with the lockdown, I decided to learn her native language. She's originally from Latvia, and that became my sort of lockdown project in 2020.
Man, there's a lot of different options out there when it comes to learning languages, a lot of platforms. So what were some of the different platforms that you tried before using Lonet?
So I've tried a few different ways of learning languages through the years. I tried Rosetta Stone in the past. I tried to learn French. I've used textbooks. I used various apps. I think the appeal with Lonet was actually having a one-to-one tutor, someone who is native in the language and could actually coach me through the difficulties that I had and sort of tailor the learning plan to what I wanted to get out of it. And I think that was something I was looking for, is having a one-on-one learning experience. But also, Latvian is not that common a language, so there's not that many sort of mainstream apps or sort of learning videos and CDs and that sort of thing that would teach me Latvian. So being able to find a tutor who her first language is Latvian, really had a lot of appeal when I was looking to learn the language.
Gotcha. Yeah. So with some of those other platforms that you used, any other specific pain points that you had when you were trying to navigate through them?
I think ultimately it's motivation. The main thing for me was saying, okay, every week I'm going to do a lesson, and every Tuesday morning I have my Latvian lesson, and I know that if I haven't done my homework before then, I'm going to be embarrassed, and it gives me that incentive to keep going and keep moving. I think especially when it's something that's self-taught or perhaps just using an app or a program on a computer. In the times when you lose the enthusiasm for it, it's very easy to slip out of it. And I think language is something that you need to do consistently to pick it up. Having a one-to-one tutor also means that it's, you get to know the person and you build that relationship with them. And that helps to, keep me involved and keep me working hard at it.
Yeah. Now I want to come back to your tutor, okay, in just a second. But before I do, how did you hear about Lonet? What kind of led you to try them out?
I was basically using Google. I searched around and I knew the language that I wanted to learn, and so I found a few places that had the option to learn Latvian in my case, and Lonet.Academy was one of the ones that showed up. So I thought I'd give it a try. There was no sign-up fee, which was important to me, and I had the option to basically book a trial lesson with the person that is now my tutor. I think some of the other places that I've looked at, they had a subscription model. You would pay a certain amount every month and you could get unlimited lessons within that. But I think then the you know, the upfront cost becomes a little bit of a burden, and you know, you're constantly trying to sort of fight to make sure you get your money's worth from it. Whereas I think a pay-as-you-go model, where I can just you know, sometimes I'll do one lesson a week, sometimes I'll do two if I'm feeling more enthusiastic about it. Helps, you know, keep me flexible. It can work to my schedule. It works to my tutor's schedule as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So that was the thing that was really attractive to you, is the fact that you could kind of pay as you go. And if the lesson didn't work out, that's okay. It's not that you know, paid for the next 5 lessons or the next
exactly.
5
Yeah.
learning your language.
Yeah. Yeah. I wanted to make sure that I felt like I was always getting value for money, and I could get what I paid for. So, you know, I could pay for one lesson, and if I didn't like it, that was it. I didn't need to go back. But you know, here we are today. I think I've probably had about 50 or 60 lessons now. Wow. So yeah.
So you're going into this first lesson. What concerns did you have before, like, going into the lesson based upon your previous experiences?
I think I mean, I had never done a Skype lesson before. So my main concern with my first lesson with Lonet.Academy was the sort of learning environment, how easy it would be to communicate with the other person, my tutor, how comfortable I would feel, how uncomfortable it would be, you know, what the structure would be. But I have to say, you know, almost straight away, my tutor was very good at putting me at ease, and you know, we had a good and friendly conversation, and I, you know, I enjoy our lessons, and you know, we get along great, and I think that's one of the most important things to keep me learning the language.
Mm-hmm. So that's really what hooked you then, as you went into that first lesson, was the experience with your tutor.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the most important thing with learning online and having a one-to-one lesson with your tutor is finding someone that you have a good connection with. They understand your goals, they understand what you want to achieve, and that you enjoy speaking to, because you're going to speak to that person hopefully for many hours as you progress and develop in learning the language. So it's important to find someone you get along with well.
So I'm curious, Craig, what's your tutor's name?
My tutor is called Ingura.
Ingura.
Ingura. Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. So then tell me, what did your tutor do in that first lesson? I mean, as you just talked about, it's important to find that connection. What did they do just to make it feel comfortable?
I think we actually started off by just having a conversation. You know, she just asked me what I wanted to achieve, what I was looking to get out of it. And I think just taking interest in my situation and what had brought me to learning a language, that then I think made me feel comfortable, and we sort of talked about some basics. I basically told her the 5 words that I already knew in the language, and I was hoping to build on. So you know, she was very easy to communicate with. We had a laugh, and I think that was the most important thing for our first lesson.
Yeah, and 50 sessions later, you're still.
Yep. 50 lessons later, we're now at the point where she can tell me if she's disappointed that I've not done my homework, and I can tell her when I'm struggling with something or I don't feel like she's explaining it well, and we have that rapport where I think we're very honest with each other, and that helps my learning ultimately, and it helps her to teach me. I felt like my tutor was good at setting me up for success, I guess, and that includes the failures along the way just as much as the successes. And so when I would do something wrong, she would always be willing to explain why. And sometimes if I haven't done my homework, we would spend extra time going over the work that I should have done. And so I think it's very important that, you know, she enjoys seeing me progress with the language, and I feel like I want to demonstrate my improving ability to her as we go on as well.
It sounds like she really wanted you to succeed. Like she was there so that you could have success in learning this new language.
Yeah, definitely. I think she has encouraged and motivated me at times when I've felt like giving up. I can say Latvian is not an easy language to learn, but I guess I don't have a huge frame of reference. But she's always been, she's always been kind of there to support me and very patient. I'm constantly amazed by my tutor's patience, I would say.
I would imagine that's probably a strong skill that you have to have as a tutor, is to be there.
Yeah, definitely.
Craig. So Craig, you told me, I mean, you've had 50 lessons on Lonet. And from that experience, could you just share with me maybe 3 benefits that you've experienced as a result of using Lonet?
Sure. So using Lonet, I think the 3 sort of biggest benefits I've had, the first would be certainly over the last year, 2020 hasn't been easy for anyone, and having a sort of regular task that I can do at home and something I can work on and work towards has really been useful in times when there's not a lot else to do, and it's been something that can keep me motivated and keep me focused. The second would be I got engaged in November. I used the language skills that my tutor had taught me to both ask my now fiance's father for permission and also ask my fiance the question. So I really feel like that would never have happened if I hadn't spent the time with language learning and Lonet.Academy. And I think the third thing is just making a friend and building a relationship with someone who is in a completely different country and a completely different culture, and someone I would now call a friend. And I've actually I went to Latvia in July when we were able to travel and stopped by to meet my tutor in person, which was nice to do. So I think both in terms of everything from the motivation to the friendship and obviously getting a fiance in the middle was my 3 highlights.
Well, congratulations, by the way, on getting.
Thank you.
Now, Craig, you just mentioned something, and this is something that I found true to be for myself, that when you learn a new language, like it really is life-changing in a lot of ways. And I think you mentioned that a little bit, especially when you were talking about getting engaged. So could you just tell me a little bit more about how learning this new language has kind of changed your life?
Yeah, I think the thing that the positive benefits that I see from learning a new language are not just being able to converse with people from a different background or a different culture, but also I think you get a better appreciation, a better understanding of the way that people that speak that language will think, and it really helps you to understand those their approach to life, and I think a little bit of the culture as well. So that to me was an unexpected benefit. I feel like I've learned a lot more culturally about Latvia just by having these lessons and learning that language and sort of understanding many of the nuances in the language, which is never easy. But it also gives me a better understanding of the culture and the lifestyle and the history of the country as well.
Now, something I want to come back to, Craig, that you mentioned, you talked about that you got to ask your now fiance's dad for his blessing, let's say, in Latvian. Tell me just real quickly about that experience.
So it was pretty terrifying, but so we managed to get away on holiday, and I had gone away with a ring. So I should say my fiance's father does not speak a lot of English, so I wanted to be respectful in terms of asking his permission, but also in the language that I spoke to him in. And so it was important for me to ask him directly in Latvian for his blessing. And I actually called him on the phone. I was very stressed and sure that I was going to say the wrong thing. I thought I was hoping there was someone else around to explain or translate for him, so that if I did say the wrong thing, that he would understand. But he understood what I was saying, and he said yes, and I understood his response as well. So I feel like it was certainly the most stressful phone call I've ever had, and I didn't do it in my own language. So fun experience looking back. I don't think I want to do that again.
kind of a one and done situation. Yeah.
It was more stressful than popping the question.
Now, Craig, as we kind of wrap up, I have two more questions for you. One, any surprises as you used Lonet and worked with your tutor that really just wowed you?
I always felt like language learning should be a bit more difficult than this. So the way it's set up, we everything flows pretty easily, and I never have any complaints. It's never been a problem, and I think that's in a way the best thing about a language learning platform is that you don't notice it's there behind you, and you're just getting your lessons and marching forward and learning the language. So for me, that's been the positive surprise.
Okay, so I am going to put you on the spot, Craig, as I was thinking about this. You've had 50-something lessons learning Latvian. So give me a phrase in Latvian.
Oh, I don't know what to say. I mean, I can give you things like, Labdien, mani sauc Craigs. That's hello, my name is Craig. I also, obviously, vai tu būsi mana sieva, which means will you be my wife, and things like that. So I've learned a number of phrases, but it's a very difficult language to learn, and I'm very careful about getting it wrong because there's so many tenses and so many different endings to the word. My favorite phrase is vai tu gribi augļus, which means would you like some fruit? And I say that a lot to my fiance at home, and she always laughs because I sound very Latvian when I say it. So.
Oh, that's great. Well, Craig, I appreciate you being with us.